Hello everyone, this is a friend of XX Gatorfoot XX, and I am doing a review on the 4 amazing Scooby Doo videos that they have come out with. Now these videos are awesome. They can be watched by any age ranging from 0 to 58, and you will still have a great time watching this. Now, I'm going to start with the What's New Scooby-Doo Volume 1, Space Ape at the Cape. Well, besides the name, this is a fantastic video, need to see, and it's all about them going up into space and meeting this purple dude right over here. I can't find it. Right over here. With a big ass head. And he's running around scaring them like the usual, and they're like, oh no, and end up unmasking the victim, and there's you meddling kids and all that crap, as usual. Then we have this one right here. Yep. It is the Scooby Doo and the Adventure of the Samurai Sword. Yes, this is an original all-time favorite movie. Everyone got to love their Shaggy and Scooby kicking butt karate style. Shaggy black belt as usual. Now what happens here is Shaggy and Scooby are getting a little hungry as usual, taking Samurai Jack over here. Yep, Samurai Jack, he's right there, the mean face, as you can see. He took his sushi and he just got angry and starts chasing him around with his samurai sword. So you gotta watch and see how they deal with that old situation. Right here, vampires and stuff. Legend of Vampires, Scooby-Doo. Now this, they go to Australia and find these vampires and start freaking everyone out. Huge mystery. Then take some pictures about, oh no, vampires can't show up in pictures, can they? So that's a problem. Then we have Cyber Chase. Now this one is my personal favorite right here. But I haven't seen it in a while since I was like in kindergarten, so I don't know. Maybe I think they have like 10 chases in the cyber world. Very exciting. One, they're in a science lab, and one in their coliseum, you know, with a horse and carriage and crap chasing around through the stands. Then there's another one on a Tyrannosaurus Rex when they're running up the volcano with the pterodactyl and all that shit. So this is really a need-to-see thing, and we go back to, let's see, oh yeah, the vampire one. It's not just a movie, no. They upgraded it this year. You have special features, man. You could get the beat on with music videos hosted by Scooby and Shaggy. Man, that's what you want in your lifetime. One thing you want. And the next greatest thing they have in here is they have trailers from other Scooby-Doo videos and stuff. You know, the languages are English and French. Also, Spanish and Portuguese, whatever it is. So that is our Scooby-Doo. We're wrapping up our Scooby-Doo thing. So, see you next time.